Can you imagine a world in which only Mighty Teapot is late? Well, I cannot either, and that is exactly why the Raiding League today is just 4 minutes behind schedule. But you know what isn't behind schedule? The amazing performance from the wonderful teams that took part in this month's event. Today, I will be your host, Sam, Classic. You're used to seeing my face, but there is one thing you're not used to yet, a new voice in the chat. And that voice is none other than Muru's. If you would please make introductions.
Hello everyone, I'm Muru from 17 Elitists.
Alright, is that gonna be it? Come on, Muru, hype yourself up! What do you mean? What are you here today for? This is your occasion to tell people what you think about a Raiding League. Go ahead.
Once upon a time I was a Chrono main until Chrono became busted. Now I'm a Renegade main. Yeah,
Makes sense. He ordered the boons, not the gameplay. Amazing.
I'm probably one of the heavier theory crafters in 17, so any ridiculous strats that you see is probably from me, and all the normal strats are from Tantor, so...
Alright, see, that is what is interesting today. So Muru is going like very humbly into that short introduction, but what I have to say is that I am thrilled, not actually thrilled, I am delighted to have such a cool co-caster today, because as you all know, what I lack is the knowledge of exactly what is going on, and today my helper is none other than the one theory crafting the exact strats you will get to watch in just a few minutes. And that is the hype we're selling to you today. And I guess without further ado, we should talk about today's event. This is going to be the first installment in this season of the Raiding League, which is going to be culminating in just 2 more events from now. Today's raid bosses are considered to be some actual pug killers. They are not that mechanic heavy, but the mechanics they do have are ones that can wipe your entire team if you do not pay attention. They are none other than Xera and Matthias. And I guess I will let Muru do a little introduction on each of the bosses if he feels like it, because we are gonna see a lot of stuff happening on the screen at once, and we would need to have a general idea of the encounter before delving deeper in.
Yeah, sure.
Alright, we're gonna start with Xera, so please give me your Xera thoughts.
Yeah, Xera is a bit of a standard boss. It's Chrono is a bit too powerful on Xera due to the CS skip, so not running Chrono is a bit of a problem. So you're gonna just see Chrono on there probably all the way through.
All right, the chat was ahead of you on this one, Muru.
Yeah, whereas Matthias has a lot more interesting, intricate stuff to it. So you can run a lot of different classes on Matthias, and Renegade is probably going to be a popular one because I think Renegade's like secretly broken right now, and a lot of people are starting to notice that. And there's also quite a few really interesting stuff of how people can handle the CC, because, for example, Renegade has a bit of a problem with CC. And also what you do with the shards, because if you tank the shards on Matthias, the shards of rage, you get a 10% damage buff, but they also chunk you. So it's a bit of a balance of, do you block them, do you tank them? If you tank them, how can you heal up? So there's quite a few interesting stuff you can do there.
All right. Well, you guys heard it. Some amazing preemptive analysis from Muru. And now, without further ado, we should actually have a look at the times we did get on Xera. Now, I'm not going to go asking all the big questions, but Muru, just one question for you. What do you think would be the worst time on Xera today?
I don't know. It depends if some people have decided not to run Chrono. And if they didn't run Chrono and didn't decide to do the skip, I could see maybe a 3.5 minute run.
Okay, I mean, that is pretty impressive. So you know what? We're gonna unveil who got the worst timer this time around, and we will work our way up to the winners of today's Gambit on Xera. And at the bottom of the Raiding League, we have, at rank 19, Pragmatic Raiding, with a time of 5 minutes 14, which is extremely impressive. Like, this is the kind of performance you will not see in any form of pog run you might take part into. However, I have something to point out right off the bat. Muru was 100% correct. The bottom tier of today's raid is none other than the team that didn't run Chronos. Yes, yes it is. We have 3 Firebrands, 2 Holosmith, 2 Berserkers, no Chronos to be seen. Obviously, they're at the 19th position. Working our way upward, we have... Oh boy, okay, that is Spanish 100%. Hirvió Por Nuestros pecados, FSM. Okay, the tag doesn't follow the name, but that's okay. With a timer of 5 minutes and 7 seconds, they get the 18th position. Once again, Muru's analysis is spot on. There are only 2 Chronomancers in here, 2 Firebrands, a Druid. Actually, this is probably the squad that has the most diversity. Like, I'm not expecting many of the squads above that to get that much diversity in there.
It's refreshing to see, not just pink all over.
Actually, FSM Flying Spaghetti Monster, okay, someone understood it in the chat. Wow, chat has 200 IQ, and that compensates for my 2 IQ. That's brilliant. But, you know what we need to look at? What the next team did. And the next team is the Alliance de Dragrimmar, the usual French team. I love to see them. You know, they've been around since the very start of the Raiding League, and they never stop delivering. They actually bet everything on a heavy Firebrand comp, and that heavy Firebrand comp did get them to the 17th position, just 1 second faster than the previous time we had. That is actually pretty impressive. You know, gotta commend them for that quality run. Next up at the 16th position, we have the Kymmanders, donning their usual script logo. They got a timer below 5 minutes, so Muru, tell me again, you said you were expecting the fastest runs to be between 3 minutes and 3 minutes and a half, right?
Somewhere near there, yeah.
Okay, I mean, because, like, that's already 5 minutes at position 16, 19, so, like, you know, I'm probably gonna have to lean on towards what you're saying, right? Like,
I like the Boon Herald here, though. It's not something I would have expected to see, but it's nice.
I mean, you gotta hand it to people in the Raiding League for coming up with the most impressive tactics. Like, you know, innovation is where you get the best strats from. Like, you don't do the good old reliable. You have to innovate in the Raiding League, and I'm really hoping that we see some amazing team comps going upwards, and that it is not all Chronos. Because, like, I mean, I gotta appreciate Chronos, but, you know, we need a little bit of diversity.
Yeah, some diversity would be nice instead of this purple class strong.
Exactly, like, FSM, strong. All Chronos, not strong. But yeah, anyways, 15th position, Lonely Raiders in your area. I'm used to seeing them a little bit higher on the leaderboards. They hit us with the full Chrono Comp. I mean, it's done, it's here, 7 Chronos. The only classes that are not Chronos are the necessary classes for boons. We have Alacrity Renegade, a Healer Druid, and the good old Berserker. Everything else is just Chronos.
Is this the start of the Chronos every time now?
I mean, you know it when you see it. That's exactly what we're getting right now, I fear. But, you know, I'm still hoping that there are some known full Chrono teams ahead of that. Still, I'm glad we don't have to watch that POV, because too much purple, you just can't see any mechanic from it. And we did say that these 2 fights do not have too many mechanics, but the ones they have are very important to get. Let's move onwards to Gorse, Wont, Ægis, rank 14, 4 minutes 45, and they are true to their guild name as ever, running 6 Firebrands. You know, that's the no Chrono Comp. I'm actually glad. The no Chrono Comp beat the Chrono Comp.
No, I'm proud of that. Good job.
Yeah, like, you gotta congratulate them, you know? Give credit where credit's due.
Also,
yeah,
sticking with their name, that's
yeah,
commitment.
You're like, they stay true to the guild tag, gotta love that. But yeah, moving onwards, at the 13th position, I have all the qualities than DPS. That's what all the players say, but really, they can't do Chrono, me neither. But yeah, rank 13, with 4 minutes 43 on the timer, they are not running a full Chrono Comp either. Still good, still good.
Chrono Comp getting beaten by non-Chronos, I like it.
I mean, they relied on Holosmith. It is strong. Like, you know, you gotta give credit where it's due. Holosmith is strong. You're in good hands. Like in my hands, it's pretty garbage, but in good hands.
Same. I can't play it for the life of me.
Holosmith good. Yeah. Moving onwards to the 12th position. Apple Core hitting us with the Chrono Comp. Like, it is here. This is exactly the same comp that I think Ice was running earlier. It is here. We can't escape it now, guys.
There's Chronos from now on again. Let's go.
I mean, like, you gotta say it. It is Chrono Comp. It is 100% Chrono Comp. Like, I guess what's gonna separate the Chrono Comps going onwards is gonna be either the individual quality of people's rotations, so like the damage output they can get, or eventually their handling of continuum split and some other mechanics to get better times or to skip mechanics. But you know, Muru, you'll be the one, analyzing this. Go on.
Sorry about that. The flexibility of running Renegade or Chronos with Wells, that's been a pretty common strategy. For example, we saw in Deimos last month, they decided to remove Renegade and just put Chronos. So we could see that flexibility across some of these runs.
Okay, just to point out, because it's being said in the chat right now, and just to get everyone on the same page, the bot has not been updated to the new ranking system. We will talk about that at the end of today's stream, because it's going to be very important moving onwards with the rating lane. Hopefully, Evokron is going to hop into the chat at that point to help us out with all the pointers, but very important, we did change some stuff. It is going to be way better for everyone. So stay tuned, we're going to get to it. 11th position, 11th position, Legendary Inside LI. They get 4 minutes 25, they're running the Chrono Comp. I think that everybody's going to be running that Chrono Comp from there on. You know, no can do. We're going to see them coming. 4 minutes 25, that's good. I mean, that's already a very good time. Like, nothing you would ever say in your daily POG runs or even in your Monday reset runs. This is great. This is impressive. Gonna give them some credit. And then we get to the 10th position. Beyond that are going to be the single digits. Everybody loves the single digits. But 10th position, go even further beyond AAAA. 4 minutes 22, the comp is the same as ever. 7 Chronos, 1 Druid, 1 Renegade, 1 Berserker.
I love their logo, I'm not gonna lie. It's amazing.
And their logo is amazing. Like, that's peak Guild Wars 2. You know, like, you get a Quaggan, it's going even further beyond. That's perfect. But yeah, moving onwards to the single digits. Muru, that's what we're after, the single digits, especially the top digits. But at the 9th position, we have Caudecus Ministry. Caudecus Ministry got a timer of 4 minutes and 18 seconds. They're running an impressive, new, brand new comp. It's never seen before. It is 7 Chronos, 1 Druid, 1 Renegade, 1 Berserker. Nobody could have expected it, but you know what people didn't expect? The fact that at this position, this is actually the runner-up in the Bronze League. So that's the second best team in Bronze. And we're gonna watch their POV, Muru. Yes, we do. I am expecting you to give us top-tier commentary, so make sure that you start the video at the same time as I do.
I can just imagine it being Chronos all the way.
I mean, I can already tell you, we're gonna see a lot of purple.
I hope the settings are down so you just don't see infinite clones all over the map.
Alright, it has started. It is going strong. Right now they have killed the Xera clone and they are getting ready to play the mini games. And we're going with a full screen.
Oh,
Alright.
This is whether you use focus on Chronos to try and pull the orbs for a quick pre-event.
I remember back when this released, it was so buggy, like it worked the same way as the Cassie orbs, 100%, and sometimes you just get people randomly attacking one and it wouldn't budge an inch. But yeah.
Oh yeah, you see here as well where you use a time warp for the shards. So this is like a really annoying thing for a Chrono of having to time warp just for the shards because it feels like such a huge waste, but it's the fastest way to deal with the pre-event, honestly.
Because like
it's why Chrono.
Yeah,
It's one
go
of the
on.
reasons why Chrono's so strong here, because they can pull, they can do time warps for the shards. It's just so hard to compete with Chrono here.
Yeah, like one of the issues here is that if you actually fail to do the pre-event, like if you down or something on one of the platforms, since you need 3 players to activate them, a single down means a reset of your run because it's already fucked up, and you're gonna need to get started anew because you would have lost way too much time. Hence why having Chronos and actually using everything in our arsenal makes a huge difference.
If you see there as well, the CC took quite a bit of time there. One of the advantages of Chronos, again, is F3 doesn't have an animation at all, so you can just do big chunk of CC, I think 400 break bar, just instantly without having to break your rotation. But it took a bit too long there, so I've got a feeling someone might have missed.
I mean, mistakes happen, and that is exactly what we're here for, you know, to watch out for that. So now they're already moving onwards to the second minigame, so to speak, where you're going to have to jump from platform to platform and break a shard. But you know, something else we should talk about is, you know, the management of the boss's position. So Muru, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're always going to want to keep the boss facing in a certain way to move him in the position that will not get covered with a damaging AoE, you know, that also adds condition. So on the tank, that is actually extra work to do and extra planning. Like, you have a lot of organization that has been made, you know, there are strats, you move towards a certain number, but still, that can be quite hard for the less trained.
Yeah, if you don't deal with the boss by taking them away from the shards, they end up getting buffs and converting your condis to buffs, I believe.
Exactly.
And Disenchanter and Chrono autos have problems dealing. You know, you can obviously strip them, but you deal significantly less damage. So you want as little buffs on the boss as possible, so you've got to position it in as good of a way as you can, where the tank can also survive and not get one shot.
Alright, and here they have already completed the second minigame. They're reunited with the spirits. Everything is good and great under the sun. So I don't think there is any way to speed up that part of the encounter unless you can actually break the shards way faster than another team. But still, they have so little HP that's not exactly where there will be winning time.
I think I'm not sure. Not sure, so don't quote me, but I believe that pre-event is time gated, so the ribbons will always take a certain amount of time to unveil, and obviously you can't go on there. Oh, and there's the CS skip that we just saw, actually.
That was very fast indeed.
Yeah, it just instantly
it just happened.
Disappeared, yeah.
So
but you're probably going to see that a lot. So
yeah, so just like to cover it up, during this second phase of Xera, you're gonna have, at, correct me if I'm wrong, 40% to 20%, another minigame that's gonna happen that is exactly the same as the initial minigames you had at the start of the encounter. The idea here is that if you use your Continuum Split, as you're gonna get ported, you're just Continuum Split back to your position and can skip one of the minigames. Meaning that you keep the entirety of your squad, you can deal much more damage and get faster to the next part.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why Chrono is just so powerful here. It's too hard to compete with being able to skip an entire mechanic like that.
It is truly impressive. And that is indeed the reason why we're going to see so many Chronos now, which is, you know, a wee bit of a shame, because, like, you know, we like the diversity in the Raiding League, but still, that's probably what we're going to see every time from here on out. Still, you know, gotta give it to people, you know, for coming up with a mechanic, well, not with a mechanic, but with a clever use of in-game mechanic, like using a continuum split to not deal with with an entire part of an encounter.
It's kind of what they did with the Deimos last time, of using CS to
I mean,
get
that
more
was truly
DPS
impressive.
time.
Like,
Yeah.
my mind was blown. Like, this was so huge. But yeah, anyways, we're gonna see the other POV at the top of the Bronze League. And that POV is none other than Kormir. So congratulations to Kormir for this. They decided to run an extra chrono. Like, you know what's better than 7 chronos? 8 chronos. If you are struggling, just add more chronos. No problem. You can handle all the
removing
mechanics.
the Renegade. This is what I was talking about earlier, of removing the Renegade. Maybe you can get away with it, and then, as you can see by the beautiful chat cover, the warrior's screwed. They have no alacrity, so...
Indeed, but you know what? I'm just gonna take a few seconds to chill out for the Crossroads Inn. So the Crossroads Inn is one of the places where you can learn to raid. It is great. They do training every week. You can learn all your raid boss mechanics and everything if you aren't already dabbing into that content in the game. And that was probably it. You know, Kormir is a team that's sprouted from in. They're doing great. They previously were in gold, but under the new tiering system, it is not about where you decide to register, it's about where you're getting placed. We'll have more to talk about that at the end of today's stream, but for the time being, we should have a look at their POV. 4 minutes and 16 seconds of amazing gameplay. Let's get ready for it, Muru.
Yeah, as I was saying, the chat cover is just beautiful. I love it.
You know, it's just great. Like, they know what they're doing. Let's go. Alright, yeah. The chat cover is 100%. Like, right now on my screen, they're gliding towards the first minigame, pulling the exquisite conjunctions. Actually, they missed one. They had to move it around again.
Aww. It's always how you deal with the pre-event, which will really hurt your time.
Okay, they have one down right off the bat, but they already recovered. Yeah, you know what I'm feeling bad about? I'm feeling bad about that Berserker. Like, he is... You know, we always talk about Proto Jail, but here, it was the Proto Revolution, and they fucking jailed the Berserker instead. He's alone in his subgroup, getting nothing. I'm sad for Costa, you know?
Providing EP, getting no alacrity, just screwed all the way.
Oh boy. You know, gotta feel bad for Costa, but still, they dealt with the pre-event very nicely, and they're already getting to the boss phase. Here, you see some early gliding, because the way the Xera encounter works is that if you are above a certain altitude, you're gonna teleport it to the top of the platform, exactly on top of the position where you glided to. So if you glide at the right moment, you will actually be able to get just a few extra seconds in your placement on the platform.
There also is a small little problem with that of if you slightly mess up, it ends up speeding up her mechanics, which could mean more ads get spawned or Blood Frenzy gets used earlier and it could break your pattern. So it's always a really tricky thing to glide in. We had that problem a few times as well.
Alright, I didn't know about that. See, this is why we needed Muru to be my co-caster today. All this insightful information.
Our wonderful Druid tank got Blood Frenzied when she least expected it and then went down and we had to save her a few times, but it was our fault for gliding in a bit too early.
Okay, I mean, so far, proper handling of everything. You know, they placed the spirits again on the platform because this is where they're going to get at the end of the minigame. And indeed, I believe you were correct in what you said as we watched the previous point of view. This is time gated. However, if I'm not mistaken, the longer time you spend here, the more you're going to get damaged by the AoE because they spawn after a few seconds. So you kind of want to be ahead.
Yeah, just before the ribbon spawn as well, you might see... If teams are fast enough, you'll end up hovering on the ley line just before the ribbon, because if you're too quick, you'll take too much damage in the ribbon, so you just need to hold back and wait.
Okay, you know, they're already moving, only one platform left, you know, since platform 4 is the one that we're at the beginning. And yeah, if you get onto the platform as the ribbons are still here, you're gonna take some massive damage. I think it's about... Like, I remember it being around 5k on the second on the 17k health pool, so I would assume it's around 40% of your health bar that you get as damage if you're early.
This, if you can see here as well, trying to keep the spirit alive, I wouldn't be surprised if a few druids had a few problems of by the time they finished their pre-event, their nature spirit died. So that's why they run Healing Spring generally to try and give it regen and keep it alive. It's one of the small little things which could split up sometimes, which you might see. Also,
running Healing Spring is actually a little bit more Condi Cleanse in the last phase, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
it
nice.
is actually quite good.
The Blood Frenzy, I think, applies a lot of confusion. So it's just a nice batch of Condi Cleanse for the tank as well.
Okay. And we saw it just now. They used the Continuum Split tactic again. Here they're already dealing with the one-shot mechanic. You know, I was saying that there are not too many important mechanics, but you need not to fuck them up. This is one of them, where you actually need to use your special action key to protect the entirety of your team. If you actually mistime it, that is a wipe.
There is a small bug as well of if you're too quick and the same person gets 2 special action keys in a row, there's a chance that they can't use it, so you just wipe.
Alright, they are doing the last few % of the health bar. See, that was a well-executed run. I mean, even though they had a little bit of an issue at the start, they still managed this very nicely. And we gotta hand it to them. They really played this correctly. So, once again, congratulations to Kormir, who are now the number 1 in the bronze tier for the Xera encounter. Moving on from here on out, we're going to be in our new silver tiering, and the, well, first team we're going to see in the silver tier is none other than Grenth Theft Auto. Okay, I love this guild name. I don't know who came up with this, but I like it, and I like you. They went with the ever so classic composition, you know, 7 Chronos, a Druid, a Renegade, a Berserker.
They decided against the 8 Chronos strat.
Yeah, I mean, there is not much you can decide to go for or against, but here we see them going for that classic comp. They got 4 minutes 9, like we're getting way close to what you were saying, Muru, that glorious 3 minute 30 time. And now we move onwards to number 6. We'll raid for food. Who played the exact same comp. I'm kind of feeling like I'm one of these old discs, you know, that only lasted a few seconds and then you had to like rewind them, sorry, so they would work again. This is exactly how I'm feeling. The ever so classic comp, 7 Chronos, a Druid, a Renegade, a Berserker. You know, they got this down. They're great. You're in order. Oh, someone's asking about your OnlyFans, Muru. You got some fans in the chat. Muru.
Oh, he's a real life friend of mine who decided to tune in just for this.
Oh boy. I mean, you know, that is great. Like, I'm so glad to be able to co-cast with someone as high up as you. Yes. Moving onwards to the 5th rank on the global Xera leaderboard. That is Wonderful Ideas, Poor Execution. There in the Silver League as well. They decided against the 7 Chrono comp and went for that glorious 8 Chrono comp. You know, when you have issues, add an extra Chrono. Like, you got troubles, add a Chrono. The Warrior is gonna be segregated again, but we don't care because they got a pretty cool time. Falling just 4 seconds short of a 4-minute timer. Wipe, congratulations to you. And then we're gonna get to the last position before the podium. And that last position is, well, actually there is no last position before the podium. We have an Exequo. An Exequo, how wonderful is that? Calamity is gonna be tied up with another team at 3 minutes 54. 10 seconds off the previous best time. That is impressive. Already below 4 minutes. That is great. The team comp is the classic. At this point, you know, I'm gonna actually call my local hamburger joint, and I'm gonna be like, okay, I need you to make me a classic. In it, we're gonna have 1 slice of bacon for the Alacrity Renegade. We're gonna have a little bit of lettuce for the Druid. We're gonna have, I don't know, 7 fucking slices of, you know, purple radish or whatever that shit is, and then a single burger bun, you know, because we only have 1 Berserker. That is it.
Stacking the radish.
I'm getting this started, you know, this is the merch we need to support the raiding league. We're actually gonna manage to go full internet, partner up with a burger joint, and do great. Anyways, that's a POV we will watch, because that POV is gonna be, I think, one of the like the 4 best point of views, because, well, 3 Exequo, and that's gonna be another silver point of view. So that's silver 2 Exequo, because the last point of view we're gonna watch obviously is gonna be the gold point of view. Without further ado, let's start it up. Alrighty.
Oh, they got the ball stuck. Oh, okay, they're doing it again.
I mean, that's some, okay. The timer hasn't started, you know, like, okay.
Yeah, I thought that was it.
I mean, they got this. I mean, this is a French team, you know. Being French myself, I can but forgive them, you know. Gotta put the heart where the homies are. I forgive them. This is great. They got this. You know, we call this running back to jump further, right? That's the way we say it in France, and obviously running back, you know, that's a very French thing to do. They got this. They got this. They're wonderful. Alright. They are handling that mechanic just fine. The other subgroup was a little bit slower on that part of the minigame, but that is no problem. They're getting ready to attack Xera. You know, actually, very interestingly, when this encounter first released, it was so ridden with bugs that a lot of people called it unplayable, complained on the forums, and multiple times Arena tried to fix parts of the encounter, well, further bugging it, actually, to the point that once they had to shut down Wing 3 for an entire week to fix it up.
I was not there for that. That's news to me. Also,
I mean,
I love the
it is
skill
quite
clicking.
old. Yeah, like, the skill clicking's on the lower... Okay, guys. You gotta put the heart where the homies are. This is French, you know, that's just the French flexing on you. Back in the dungeon days, there was this one dungeon runner who soloed Lupicus in Aura with a single finger. This is his legacy, okay? That's where we are.
I love just seeing chat break down over this.
Highest DPS with skill clicking. Actually, yes. Actually, second highest with skill clicking. Imagine if that dude was given a mouse with like side buttons to click his skills with his thumb. That dude would be the new benchmark. This is crazy. This is amazing.
He presses the heal skill as well, which can cancel any other ability. So he's timing it so well.
Like, actually the best player in the game, and he's a skill clicker. Guys, this is crazy.
Give this guy key bindings.
I mean, he actually has the basic key bindings, like 1 to O and F1 to F4. That's like the thing. That's Guild Wars 2 straight out of the box. The dude got the game, installed it, and was like, a keyboard? Nah, I only need a mouse. Legend says he moves around by clicking both left and right click, just moving his mouse to change the camera movement.
Is overrated.
This player is crazy. His other hand, he's just waving at the competition from afar with it, because he's that good a player. See, that's what we were saying earlier. You don't want to glide in too early on that platform because you would otherwise take massive damage. And that is the reason why they stood gliding in between before finally setting foot on the platform.
Yeah, you can't stay on the previous platform because you'll get nuked, so you just have to stay in a gliding state.
Alright, actually Evo in the chat saying that this video was definitely requested to be shown. I can understand why. That is crazy gameplay. Crazy gameplay. Alright, we're gonna see some very fast burn of the boss. Like, look at this damage. This is so crazy. Xera is just melting.
The second minigame, which I always wonder if maybe skipping the second minigame would net in a higher time than the first minigame, but I don't think anyone's ever tried. If someone could correct me, because I don't actually know.
I believe the second minigame is actually easier to do fast, because if you, like, the first minigame is more prone to fucking up. If you actually move the orb wrongly, you just cancel the entirety of your run, and that would be kind of bad.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It would be kind of bad. Like, since the raiding league is made the way it is, you kind of want to make sure that you get a good run. Like, you don't want to toss your run to the drain with a simple mistake at the end. It would be pretty bad. But yeah, moving onwards, we have the other third XVII, and they are none other than Scuffed Opening GG, who got the exact same timer with the exact same... Well, no, actually not the exact same comp. No, the exact same comp once again. Like, maybe they were the same players all along. But you know what we can say? They got the same timer, but without the skill clicker. So technically, Calamity, just a little bit ahead. Just a wee bit ahead.
They can click to flex, you know?
Yeah, like, I mean, they have another hand that they're flexing with as they're clicking the game, right? They got this. Anyways, we watched that POV.
I believe Scuffed Opening were high silver last time, so to see them in third place is really good.
That means that they're pretty consistent with their own thing. Okay, now I have just one question. What kind of a preset is this? That person messed up their sweet FX installation. The ground is not supposed to be that black. Like, something's amiss here. I know they probably wanted to get extra frames per second, but that is not the way to do it.
Just turn all the settings down. Chrono will break your computer, so you might as well.
I mean, that's pretty... Actually, you know what? A lot of the maps in Gorse, if not all the maps in Gorse, actually have water below, like, below the ground level. So if you're actually looking down, sometimes the game tries to render that huge mass of water, and you're gonna kill your FPS. It's actually horrible. Looking at the ground is actually pretty bad in Guild Wars 2. Everyone does it because, like, the top-down view maybe gives them a little bit of a League of Legends sense, you know? But it's a bad idea.
League of Legends nostalgia. No, I'm one of those who can't play top-down. I
can't play top-down either.
Too much to see there. Like, as you can see, all the Chrono clones just jumping from everywhere. It would flood me too much.
Yeah. Actually, you know, that's pretty impressive. Like, the chat is actually saying that it's what happens indeed if all the shaders are put to node. I had no idea. I never put all the shaders to node. Okay, Muru, have you looked at the chat cover? This is great. This is impressive.
It's a
dog,
beautiful chat cover.
Yeah, like, he's vibing. He's just vibing.
To be honest, that's how it feels like to play Chrono on this boss. Just vibing. To be fair, you can see a bit of a difference in the CC speed that they had, and obviously the damage based on the lower Chronos compared to these Chronos.
Actually, you know, speaking about Chronos, it is being said in the chat right now that the game would probably be better if there was a rule against having so many Chronos in one team. But you know, giving Liberty like a little bit of freedom, for team building is important, especially with a raiding scene that is as contrived as ours. But still, that would be pretty great to have a little bit more diversity. Like, looking at the team comp from FSM earlier, I was delighted for sure.
Yes. Seeing just not all purple class is nice. I would honestly, I'm really excited for the new expansion because I really hope something out there can, knock Chrono off its pedestal.
I am looking forward to it as well. And see, once again, you're correct. You know, they managed to keep that nature spirit alive, I believe. Like, it has a health bar. It's not moving, but it has a health bar, so I'm positive it's alive. Yeah. Never mind, it's dead! He wrote end! Dead! Oh my god. You know, roller coaster of emotion right there. The death of the spirit. I'm taking this back. The spirit died.
Just as you said it's alive, it proved you wrong.
Oh boy. But yeah, I mean, they're doing quite good. Actually, this is Aiza's team, you know? Aiza, who was once also a co-caster on the Raiding League. Shout out to you, Aiza, for all the work you've put into both being a co-caster and also being a participant in the league, just like Muru is today. Like, he is with me at the analysis desk, but he is also one of the top players in the league, and I'm really looking forward to him commenting his own performance.
Oof. I wasn't part of the Xera kill, but don't worry, I'm happy.
Commenting your own performance. Don't cut me right. Just pretend, Muru, pretend.
Yes, I was there under a different account, don't worry.
Perfect. This is what we want to hear. Alright, actually, I have one last thing to point out about that POV that I hadn't noticed earlier. Windows is not even activated. That person is playing on the lowest setting on a non-activated Windows. That's like I took my sister's computer to play a game with a few extra steps. You know, yeah. That's the level at which we are, lads. Activate Windows. This is next level.
It's on par with the skill clicking at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I was memeing about them being a little bit lower than the skill clickers, but we're gonna hand it to them. They had their own level of skill clicking. Like, that's some handicap. But yeah, moving onwards to the next team. You know, right now we're going to see the #1 silver team. And that team is none other than Quantify. Congratulations. Quantify is the old... Yeah, I mean, I was memeing about them being a little bit lower than the skill clickers, but we're going to hand it to them. They had their own level of skill clicking. Like, that's some handicap. But yeah. Moving onwards to the next team. You know, right now we're going to see the #1 silver team. And that team is none other than Quantify. Congratulations. Quantify is the old... Yeah, I mean, I was memeing about them being a little bit lower than the skill clickers, but we're gonna hand it to them. They had their own level of skill clicking. Like, that's some handicap. But yeah, moving onwards to the next team. You know, right now we're gonna see the #1 silver team. And that team is none other than Quantify. Congratulations. Quantify is the old... Yeah, I mean, I was memeing about them being a little bit lower than the skill clickers, but we're gonna hand it to them. They had their own level of skill clicking. Like, that's some handicap. To my boy One-Up. If I'm not mistaken, One-Up is probably a Druid player in this squad. Not sure 100% about this, but I remember him playing some good Druid back in the days. So he can probably react in the chat about this, but right now the point of view we have is none other than Subies, who was originally responsible for making their Chrono and I believe Mirage maybe guides on the Quantify website. Okay, Yupnir is actually the Druid, you know, mea culpa. Yupnir was the Druid, which means that One-Up is something else. maybe he's the one in the Berserker Jade. I don't know. And Xeb, who was also co-casting the stream, is actually playing Renegade for the team. So Xebeneth, if you're in the chat, you're getting this shout. She was actually the caster for the final event, the finale of the 2020 season. Well, One-Up is the 11th player. So actually, you asked for a shout out and you're not even in the run. Take your shout out and go home. But yeah,
they just wanted to be noticed.
he's the Druid's pet. That's what he is. Moving onwards with the rest of the content, we are actually seeing them handling the second minigame of the Xera encounter. You know, they're staying back, using a little bit of that range damage to get rid of the crystals so that they take minimal damage from the AoEs on the ground. And yeah, we're doing quite well. Actually, I don't know if you guys realized this before, but One-Up is an anagram of Yupnir. Actually, no, it's missing one letter. But we're just gonna roll with that, okay? It's Yupnir. Yes? Yeah, I had this for like a second and then I just shoot myself in the leg.
Almost,
whatever.
Almost.
I was always there. I had this one letter. But yeah, anyways, they're almost done with the second minigame. That's the last platform they have to handle. And they're getting to the Druid Spirit. Hopefully the Druid Spirits are going to be alive this time around. So we're going to see this in a few seconds. Maybe we're going to hear the cry of pain from dead. You know, maybe not.
Dead in the chat.
Dead in the chat. You know, I'm probably going to keep that for later purposes. Dead in the chat actually sounds like a good punchline to have while streaming.
Yeah.
Next down we see on the rating league, we're going to ask for some dead in the chats. All right. And here we're going to see the good old continuum split tactic. So you don't hate to see it. See, Xera is going to start teleporting members. They are hitting that F5/F6. And it's all good and done.
Another
20%, that's the second part. Oh yeah, go on, Muru.
Another thing which is just a small thing which I haven't mentioned now. I haven't mentioned despite all the chrono comps, but stacking the time warps is really powerful because you can just keep running DPS classes while obviously stacking time warp, and it's again another reason why chrono is just so powerful in here, because the phases are short enough for you to be able to keep your quickness up with just time warps.
Actually, you know what I found pretty impressive in this run? They actually managed to get Xera down to like 5-6% before coming back from the minigame. Like we saw on earlier point of views that people were actually getting it around like 10 to 9%. Like they managed to have some top tier DPS with this. And then it actually is the occasion to talk about another element of surprise, you know, in the Xera encounter. The people who get ported are randomized. Sometimes you're going to get ported twice, sometimes you're not going to get ported at all. And you can actually get a better time if most of your DPS players stay on top and manage to unleash the rest of their rotation and not have to cut it off by being ported. So there is a little bit of an element of RNG. It's not about being truly an amazing player. Luck plays its part. Small one, but plays its part nonetheless. Alright, lads! Okay, go on,
Oh.
Muru. Tell
If
me,
you get
Muru.
Sorry, if you get Renegade and BS ported, you have to GG. You can't. They've got no way back. If only one of them gets ported, you can take the portal back. But it's one of the problems with Xera, I find.
Yeah. Okay, like, you know, gotta do that. What you're doing right now, Muru. If you want to say something, just interrupt me. You know, that's way too much. You're the analyst. You're here for information, for quality information. You have every right to tell me, Sam, STFU, I'm the analyst here. So just go for it, man. You know, hype yourself up, because the next point of view is none other than your guilds. Yes, the next point of view, the gold players, the winners at the Xera encounters are 17 Elitists! Congratulations to them for getting number 1 with a timer of 3:30. They actually have set an impressive time for this encounter. It is great, it is amazing. Gotta give them a clap, you know, like they really did great. Impressive people, please clap in the chat. The 300 lot of you. They played the good old comp, the classic, as we're calling it by now. 7 Chronos and the 3 support classes. But Muru, you're gonna be able to tell me ever so much about it, as we're now gonna watch the point of view.
Don't worry, you'll see the big thing that happened in this POV.
Oh boy, what is this chat cover? That's mildly unsettling. Oh, interesting way to pull here by the Renegade. Gotta love to see that.
Using the jump was, when I saw them do that, I was pretty impressed. I did not think about that at all.
Yeah, I mean, that's actually big brain, you know? Gotta give it to them, like, that's pretty cool.
It's a nice way of only pulling 1 orb, because the Chrono focus pull has a chance of pulling too many if it's a bit too close. Whereas
yeah,
this
as we saw
guarantees
earlier, you know, like, it lost some people a wee bit of time as well. Okay.
Also, one thing you can see here is we're running a Condi Renegade instead of an Alakran. Because the Chronos can give themselves enough alacrity. So we ran a bit of boon duration on the Condi Ren, just enough, you know, to top up the Chronos, and then a tiny bit for the BS, you know, just as a treat.
Okay, I mean, you know what actually I'm impressed about? That damage, you know, that DPS. Like, that's massive, that's just crazy. Like, Chrono is just so far above every other class. And yet, the fact that you picked a Condi Renegade, like, he is holding his ground very well. Doing it so much better than a Power Renegade would do.
Yeah, it's I think it was around 8 to 9k higher group DPS by running the Condi Renegade, which was a nice thing, and they can still bring a Assassin's Presence by making them run Devastation, which is also a small DPS loss, but it's just it's a nice thing which could be optimized.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a small DPS loss for the player himself, but a bigger DPS increase for the group, then that's definitely a good thing to do. Like, you guys really thought a little bit further than the other teams on that encounter, and you totally deserve that first place for that. Just handling that second part of the mechanics very nicely. Being a little bit ahead of time here, having to glide back. I see how it is. See, you're taking that damage. I believe it might be something around 30% then, because like that was on the health bar, it was like 6k and another 6k or something. It's pretty crazy to see.
Yeah, it's just to stop people going early. I feel like it's a bit overkill. Now this is where you're going to see a bit of a controversial strat.
Controversial strat. Yeah, I'm expecting the worst, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to be impressed.
There is another way to skip Xera teleporting.
Okay, you glided to the edge.
Yes.
Okay, so that's what I was explaining earlier. If you glide to a position and you're above a certain altitude, you're going to get ported to the platform exactly above that position you glided to. And Xera following the tank means that she will actually follow wherever you land. So that is a few extra seconds won from you guys. That's very well done. You know, and that's perfectly fine, you know, rule-wise. was very great. And yeah, like the mechanics were handled very nicely. He didn't get ported.
This
so that's pretty cool.
this is the grey area of if you stand too far into the corner, slightly off the platform, Xera thinks you're not on the platform, so she doesn't port you, and that's a we're not sure if that follows the rules or not.
Wait, actually, you know, that was beyond what I originally saw there. Like when I looked at it, I saw that you just meant for Xera to move faster to you instead of having to, like, you know, walk to the edge. But yeah, if that prevents a mechanic entirely,
So we were ready for the popcorn of this because we you know, it is kind of breaking the mechanics.
You know, I'm gonna actually leave it up to the admins of the raiding league to separate, you know, right from round, from restricted from unrestricted. But as I see it, and based on the fact that everybody was well pretty much planning on skipping everything by using Chronos, I'm not sure exactly what to say.
So one of the arguments we had was in Cairn you skip the mechanics by standing inside the hitbox, and that was allowed. So we weren't sure if this would be allowed or not. And obviously we're leaving it up to everyone to decide.
Alright, I mean, it is great to know how that is working. It is great to know that it can be reproduced in another way. I don't know if some other teams attempted to do it in this way, but I'll leave it up to the admins to decide. Still, this is the best time. You know, since this is a league system, we have ways to change the rules, recalculate ranks, reorganize the rankings as we go. Only the final leaderboard at the end of the season will have its value. That is something we will explain at the end of the stream once again. For now, we're gonna have a look at Matthias. Okay, moving onwards to Matthias. Muru, my friend, do you have a word to say before we move on to talking about the team's positions on the leaderboard? Do you have anything you want to say about the Matthias encounter as a speedrunner yourself?
Honestly, Matthias was one of the more fun speedruns that I've been part of, because there's so much flexibility that you can run. As you'll probably end up seeing with all the comps, you're going to have some rainbow comps all over the place, because you can run a bit of everything. And the current record is using Condi Zerkers with a stunt Aura Share Tempest, right? And that is such a unique idea that we were like, oh, there's so many different things we could try. We tried a lot of different things, and you will probably see from all the other teams there's so much diversity in this this fight that will probably make it way more interesting to watch than Chronos stacking.
Yeah, actually, you know, I'm wondering about it because right now, you know, I'm still thinking about what you said about Xera. You know, like I'm sorry to the chat, I'm sorry to the people for not, you know, like moving on with the stream is doing, but the fact that you're using this positioning to prevent the porting from happening, does that mean that you could have much more variety in your class picking?
Yeah, so one of the things we tested was running Hybrid Soul Beast, because they can beat Power Chrono in terms of DPS, but the pre-event was very, very difficult with Hybrid Soul Beast, and it ended up taking more time because the pre-event would take too long and we couldn't just chuck a time warp down like you could on Chrono.
All right. And yeah, as it has been said in the chat right now, you know, gotta actually say thanks to Xeb for the art. She worked on this. It is great. It is amazing looking. Thank you, Xeb, for being so amazing. You know, once a caster, now an artist. The next step, she's Elon Musk. We don't know about it yet. But yeah, anyways, moving on to the Matthias part. We had a lot of insightful comments from Muru on Xera, and I'm looking forward to what he has to say about Matthias. At the 19th position, actually the 18th position, because we had a did not finish, we have Kymmanders. Kymmanders, 3 minutes, 47 seconds. The class variety, as you said, my friend Muru, is omnipresent. You know, like, we have 3 Holosmith, which I believe they already brought at the Xera encounter, so it's probably about players being good at a class more than the class being amazing on an encounter, and gotta give it to them. Their timer of 3:47 is very good. and I believe that that performance should already be acclaimed. Moving onwards, however, to the 17th position. Hirvió Por Nuestros pecados, FSM, got a timer of 3 minutes 3. Wait a minute. That's missing a number, right? That cannot be. A jump of 44 seconds? That is massive. That is way too huge.
They said the Evacron says that they had a DC, so they actually played without the Berserker.
Alright, then that is good information to have. Thank you, Evo. Playing without a Berserker. Wow. That is actually crazy. Like, you still finished, that is great. Congratulations to you. You did well. You know, you just did well. Gotta give it to you. Moving onwards to the 16th position. We have the Alliance de Dragrimmar. 16th position, as we said, 2 minutes 56 seconds. That's already a sub 3 minutes. They brought 3 firebrands. I believe they did the same on Xera. So it's once again a case of bring what you're good at, not what's good at the encounter. And I actually approve of that, because it is great that people can bring what they main instead of learning to play something just because it's good. You know, I like this. I really like it.
Scourge there. Was it just because they were good at Scourge, or they tried something new with it?
I don't know. Maybe it's a heal Scourge. The horror. Can you believe it? Maybe it is. Because can you actually bounce conditions from a tornado?
I mean, I was just thinking if they end up putting conditions on the sacrifice and then bouncing them off the sacrifice.
Yeah, that's like omega risky. I wouldn't try that. Oh my god.
Me neither, but.
Alright. Is there something happening in the chat? Is there something happening in the chat, my dudes? Now, even if... boy. Calm down in the chat, please. Link however your mods, you have full power to handle the chat in any way you see fit. Just don't ban everyone, please. Don't make it slow mod either. But yeah, go on, be wild. But we, Muru, have to move onwards. At the 15th position, we have Pragmatic Raiding, bringing a Soul Beast and Mirage setup. So here we're seeing a lot of Boon Thieves, which makes sense on this encounter. So you only need like the Boon Thief and Alacrity Renegades to ensure that you have all the boons needed for your players. Very impressive, you know, gotta like it. Triple Mirage is great. Yeah, 2 minutes 35.
It's quite a lot on non-renegade comps. You'll probably see 2 renegades just to make sure Alacrity can be spread pretty well. In some cases you might see 3 renegades just to make their lives easier, because with 3 renegades you only need to press F4 on color, and it just makes the rotation a lot cleaner.
Alright. That's all the information I do not have, as I never play Renegade myself. Maybe I should learn the class at this point.
Renegade is honestly my favorite class at this point. It's such a smooth class to play.
Please teach me, Moo Sensei. Moo. But yeah, anyways, moving onwards. Oh, and we just got a raid from Mela. Thank you so much, Mela, for that raid, and welcome to all the Mela viewers already throwing tomatoes at the chat, hopefully not at me. Today we're talking about the Matthias encounter, which is part of this installment of the Raiding League Season 1 2021. Today with me is Muru at the analyst desk, and he is bringing us some amazing and insightful comments about the encounters, because he is none other than a major part of the best running guild in the league so far, 17 Elitists. So yeah, that is it from us. We're gonna keep moving onwards with the rest of the content. Mela viewers, please raid not us, but with us. As we go onwards to the 14th position, which is none other than Gorse won't hit you, Ægis, with a timer of 2 minutes 33, 2 microseconds faster than the previous team. They had 4 firebrands, and once again staying true to their name. You know, like they have a narrative, they're sticking to it. Pretty impressive. But yeah, at the 13th position, Lonely Raiders in your area. Muru, you were saying that we would see comps with less renegades? Well, Lonely Raiders in your area was dying to prove you wrong. They have 3 of them. what do you have to say for yourself now?
This is what I was saying earlier with 3 Renegades. Lets you spread RR, the Righteous Rebel, a lot better, so you can get Alacrity a lot easier. So it makes your rotation easier, which is honestly what I prefer when playing as a Renegade. But yeah, it's very strong. They do a lot of damage on this boss as well, so it's just good.
I mean, you know, I'm actually enjoying this right now. Seeing comps where there is not so much purple, you know, that enthuses my heart.
Still 2 purple there, though.
It's okay. It's not the same icon. You know, like it's not gazing back at me the way it was before. But yeah, moving onwards to the 12th position. That's Apple Core. 2 minutes 30, 3 seconds faster than the previous team. Also running Firebrands. Once again, running Firebrands is pretty strong. You have good access to CC, you have good access to boons, and you have a pretty strong condition damage build. All bundled in one amazing specialization, which is Firebrand.
I think they reflect with the Firebrand as well there, because they don't have a Mirage.
That actually makes sense, although you can, yeah, I was gonna say you could always ask the druid to do it, but it's much better to do it on the Firebrand for sure. Indeed, once again, insightful comments from Muru. What would I do without him? I would just be at a loss. Thank you, Muru. 11th position, it is go even further beyond. Pronouncing this guild take, I can't. 2 minutes 24, 6 seconds faster than the previous team. They had 2 Berserkers. 2 Berserkers, impressive. 4 Renegades, even more impressive. Once again, what you were analyzing before, Muru, has come to fruition.
Yeah, I'm surprised with the 4 Renegades though, and the double BS. I'm wondering if maybe they split up the banners so they could get more Berserk uptime. That's probably why they have double BS there.
Okay. I mean, also probably for like the quality of life of the CC, I guess. Like it is a class that has strong CC and easy access to it on low cooldowns. Because like you need to CC the people. If you want to go fast, you need to CC the people.
Yeah, the Renegades as well. They can drop down a Dark Razor when the CC comes down, and that probably also helps quite a bit with the CC.
Actually, you know, Tolgon writing in the chat right now, please let us be top 10. He is a player from Quantify. I'm very sorry to announce it to you guys, but actually I was saying earlier that we had a team that did not finish. The 19th team, that was Quantify. You know, you can now shed tears in the chat. Nah, just kidding. Quantify is obviously within the top 10, and we're gonna unveil the 10th in the top 10 right now. It is none other than Caudecus Ministry. CM with a timer of 2 minutes 20, which is also something we wouldn't have had back in the days when the second raid wing released, as it was also ridden with bugs. But actually the most interesting bugs were at Trio, if I'm not mistaken, because you could take the kegs from Trio, bring them to Matthias, and literally cheese the hell out of the encounter. But yeah, 5 Renegades, Muru. What do you have to say in your defense?
The number of Renegades.
What do you have to say for yourself? It keeps increasing. There is so much red. Before the end of today's stream, we will be communists at this point. I'm calling
10 Renegade comp. Let's go.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Yeah, we went for the double warrior here, so they probably split up the banners again, just like the previous comp.
Indeed. But yeah, moving onwards from this chrono-less comp, from this purple-less screen, we move to the 9th position, which is Will Raid for food. They actually run triple Berserker. Okay, Muru, I'm gonna need some stepped-up analysis right there. Like we had the split the banners, bring more CC. What do you have to say about triple Berserker?
So I think...
Is it the Banner of Defense tactic? Like, Banner of Defense is obviously the best banner, guys. In case you didn't know, Banner of Defense is the one you want to bring in all encounters. But Muru, hit me up. Tell me about this.
So this is, I think, the strategy that Snowcrows ended up going for, of bringing a Weaver with the water trait line, so you can share your fire aura. And Berserker can explode their fire aura, I believe, and it does quite a bunch of damage. And it's a really imaginative strat, and I really, really like it.
Okay,
and obviously they went with
amazing.
it.
We get to watch it. You get to comment it in real time. Amazing. Let's click this. Let's have a look at it. All right, full screen we are. Okay. Yeah, sadly it's actually the thief, well, the daredevil point of view, which means that we won't get to see everything you were talking about with like the explosion, well, the exploding of the fire aura. Still, the squad splits are kind of crazy. Like they have all three berserkers in the same team with the water weaver. But like,
yeah, they're for the stance share for the explosions, as was mentioned. It's also the CC was pretty quick there. It disappeared like instantly.
Like triple berserker plus having Scorpion Wire on the thief is probably what's making this.
Yeah, Scorpion Wire and Pitfall Trap as well for a big chunk of CC
Indeed.
there.
Yeah, I mean they're obviously trying to make everything as fast as possible. Like you want to make that CC fast, because the longer it stays, the more risks you have of actually mistakenly killing the person, and also like gimping yourself for the rest of your run. So very fast CC is good quality of life.
There's a thing here where if you're fast enough DPS, you can phase him into Abomination phase, and you actually skip the second CC, which sadly we didn't see here, but I think we'll probably see it in the higher teams.
Okay, we have 3 downs. 3 downs in what is actually the best bronze run. I mean, the second best bronze run. This is pretty crazy. Like, they recovered without any issue, managed to avoid the ghost. Like, just to explain it to the people who are not too familiar with that encounter, the main things you want to look out about Matthias is, as you can see right now, he sometimes throws out projectiles and has a shield above him. If you don't reflect the projectiles at him, he actually doesn't get rid of his shield and you can't damage him. In each of the phases, there is a different elemental reaction, be it icy patch on the ground, fiery tornadoes moving around, a lightning cloud also hitting you, well, actually a storm cloud. But right now, the main thing that is happening in this phase is the ghosts walking around. They deal massive damage, I believe about 80 to 90% of your health bar upon walking on you, and that would actually almost down you. And here, the temple has fallen silent, Food has managed to get the second best bronze run. Congratulations to them.
That was a pretty clean execution of
actually, apart from the 3 downs.
Apart from the 3 downs, yeah.
No, like, they did down. They would have probably been top bronze if you hadn't. Moving onwards, just 2 seconds faster is I have other qualities than DPS. Rank number 8. Yo, Muru. That's 6 renegades. I'm done. I'm just done.
I told you 10 by the end of the day.
It's happening. From that office scene. But yeah, so 6 renegades. I'm looking forward to seeing what's gonna happen on that DPS meter with so many renegades. You know, without further ado, let's pop up that POV open and see exactly what's happening out there.
So one of the things of why stacking renegades is not the best is because I forgot the name now, but the cat that applies bleeding can be overlapped from all the other ones. So if you cast them at the same time, one of the renegades will end up losing the bleed from it, which is why renegade stack isn't that good, but it's too fun to not play.
Okay.
Also, one of the small things you'll see there is the Firebrand went into Tome 3 to give resistance to the sacrifice, because you constantly get conditions inside this fight, so you can't drop resistance, and the sacrifice obviously missed maybe and detonate ectoplasm, so they missed some resistance, so the Firebrand was supplementing that.
This is actually huge brain. Very nice of you to be able to comment this far into the encounter, because yes, it is actually very, very dangerous here. Like you when you're sacrificed, you basically turn hostile to your team in this phase. And meaning, like, being hostile means that you actually take damage from your teammates, and the damage here is huge. Like, the burst is violent. If you actually get too many condies on yourself and do not get cleansed, you're heading straight into down state and then completely dead.
Another interesting thing that I think they've gone for this comp is they have a druid for healing, whereas I think we saw in the previous comp, I think they just relied on the Tempest and Thief, I believe, to try and supply the healing.
Indeed. But like, having a druid is just so much quality of life, because indeed it is a condition heavy encounter. Like, you can get stacks of burning from the fire tornadoes, you can get actually quite a lot of damage that you take from the environment in general, having the poison on yourself that you need to get rid of. It is so many things that can actually heavily damage you, so having the druid to cover for that is pretty good. Also, here we didn't see it because we saw instead people downing to it, but Matthias will jump and unleash a series of projectiles around him, and usually the druid would have to place down his staff 5 wall onto Matthias to prevent people from taking damage from that mechanic. Here it didn't quite happen, yet they got a very good run.
Oh, 2 kills at the end there.
the video is not over. Like, there is 30 seconds left. I'm actually curious. I want to look at that. Is it actually just their chat cover?
Yeah.
That's really just their chat cover. Okay, never mind. I was looking forward to bloopers. You know, I'm a simple man. I get the opportunity to watch bloopers. Watch the bloopers. But yeah, that was a pretty good run. Definitely worthy of being the best bronze run. The POV was that of a dead person, but still, they weren't as dead as nature spirits were at Xera. Moving onward to the 7th position, we have, well, actually number 6, so that's probably an executor. We have wonderful Ægis for execution wipe. Congratulations to them for getting this timer of 2 minutes 10. They're running once again the triple Berserker comp alongside the Weaver, so that was what we were explaining earlier, my dear friend Muru. The fact that the Weaver can share the Fire Aura and the Berserkers get to detonate it for massive damage.
It's interesting that they ran the Firebrand there for the Reflect rather than Mirage, which was run on the record. I wonder if they just chose it for, you know, personal preference, or maybe they just thought Firebrand was better.
Excellent question. Well, we don't get quite to see that POV, but still we can make hot guesses at what they were doing. Moving onwards to the other 6th position, we have Kormir, meaning that their run is silver worthy. They were running 4 Firebrands alongside 3 Renegades and got the same timer of 2 minutes 10. Boons were mostly supplied by the Boon Daredevil. Well, actually, that's a Boon Thief. And, you know, they were just bringing 1 Berserker. What is more than 1 Berserker, right? You get 1, you're happy. You get 3, you're 3 times happy.
We can see here as well that, sorry.
Go on.
We can see here as well that they haven't run a healer like the Druid earlier. And they've probably ran the Heal Thief with Monk Runes to just keep them topped up with Regeneration or Shadow Refuge, which is one of the things which some of the earlier teams didn't have, because they ran with healers instead.
Well, actually, a healer thief is pretty crazy to see. Like, I remember back in the days, you know, because I'm an old man, I get to talk about the olden days. There was this one healer thief build that was run in War vs. World by a roamer. It was kind of horrible, but at the same time, kind of a mega brain. Like, did you just run around stealthing people that were downed in you know, in team v team fights, Zerg fights, and just put them back up to health. Pretty crazy stuff.
It lets you run an extra DPS, which is why I think it's... Because you're always going to run a Boon Thief, so it's nice to just swap a healer for a DPS and let the Boon Thief do all the supporting.
I mean, yeah, but it is stacking a lot of responsibility in a person. It is pretty harsh on them, but yet that is what makes the difference in terms of timers. So, very clever initiative from Kormir. Once again, if you want to learn raids and you are on the EU region, Crossroads is the place to go. They are silver worthy. You know that you can put your destiny in their diamond hands. Moving onwards to the 5th position, we have Grenth Theft Auto. I just can't get over that guild name. That's the best one I've seen.
I do really enjoy the name.
I like it. Yeah, I just like it. Like, they are the winners in my heart. That's what they are. They brought 5 Renegades. Just 5 Renegades. That's very solid. Like, you know, that red, all that red on the screen. It's better than having all purple.
They've brought a Hollow as well. I'm assuming for pinpoint, just to, you know, help out the Renegades.
A little bit extra condition damage is always welcome indeed. And just like the previous team, they ran probably all the healing onto their Thief, because we do not see a dedicated healer in that comp.
And then, of course, a Soul Beast for the Spirits, because Spirits are just too strong not to run.
You need the Spirits. You know, like, when I'm in a POG, and I don't see a Druid or a Soul Beast, like, being in Spirit Jail, I just leave. Like, what's the point? If I'm gonna underperform, what's the point?
you want to hit those high numbers, you know?
If I don't beat the pug, I might as well uninstall and reinstall afterwards, but still, might as well uninstall. Moving onwards to the 4th position, move with me. We have Calamity. Congratulations to Calamity, as they are the first team to break below the 2-minute mark. As we said earlier, that's definitely not a time you would have seen back in the days on Matthias, but that is truly ever so much impressive. They brought 4 Renegades and 3 Soul Beasts. Soul Beast is quite strong. That means they also got to split spirits among the Soul Beasts. And I'm just curious as to who, between the Firebrand and the Thief, would have brought some healing there.
I think the Daredevil will probably bring some healing. Yeah. I don't think the Firebrand would be healing. I think it's there mostly for reflecting. But I'm surprised they can live with that.
I mean, maybe the Soul Beasts were running like a Healing Spring or something.
Oh yeah, I guess.
Because like Healing Spring, like you have the Trap trait on Ranger. Like among the trait lines you run as a DPS Soul Beast, you have the Trap trait that you can take. And Healing Spring is strong. Like it brings the regen, it cleanses, it stays a lot on the ground. If they just time it, they always have an AoE that they can heal themselves into. I'm pretty sure it could work.
I don't think they can take the Trap trait there, because one of their big condition damages traits is also on that tree. Yeah,
truly. But yeah, Sharpened Edges actually is the name of that tree. Yeah. But yeah, like we can only speculate, just like people did in the markets this last week. But moving onwards to the Raiding League, we are getting to the podium on Matthias. We're gonna have 2 silver performances and 1 gold performance. I'm already telling you. Without further ado, let's unveil the number 2. The runner-ups in the Silver League are none other than Scuffed Opening GG. With a timer of 1 minute 57, a mere second faster than the previous offenders. They played the Chronos. You know, they carried over their Xera comp into Matthias. They were like, okay guys, we're just that good. We do the same, but better.
Purple
with extra
class,
steps.
With Druid, double Ren, just strong comp.
Like, I mean, if it works, it works. You know, that's how we describe it out here. But yeah, without further ado, let's actually watch your POV, and Muru, I am counting on you to bring your bestest analysis. Alrighty.
I'm assuming one of the Chronos ran feedback there, because they've just got so many, it might as well.
I mean, this is going quite well so far.
I mean,
as we're explaining this,
with the CC.
Okay. Yeah, I'm curious as well. Did they actually shatter?
I think that was Gravity Wells to just instantly kill the CC.
I mean, if you actually time your Gravity Wells, it's quite strong. Like, I remember people bringing a lot of Mirages when Mirage was stupidly strong at this encounter, because you could just have the Gravity Well on it. They're stacking their damage fields as well. Pretty good.
One of the small things that I was talking about at the start was how people would deal with the shards. And as you saw in this one, because they've got a Druid, they can just face tank the shards and get that extra 10% damage buff from the shards. So it gives 10% for 10 seconds, and then in Abomination phase, it gives 10% for 20 seconds. So it's just free damage that they got because they had a healer on their comp.
Indeed. You know, as we were explaining earlier, like, you can see the elemental mechanics on the ground. Like, you can see the icy patches right now. We saw the fire tornadoes and the storm cloud earlier. This encounter, you don't actually have to deal with these mechanics too much. I remember back in the days where you actually would ask your Condi Berserker to aim their fire shots at the icy patches. Okay. Very long time ago.
One of the things I believe they might be running pistol, because I think a lot of the environmental stuff will steal your focus hits if you were playing that on Chrono, because normally you'd run focus.
Correct, indeed. Okay, they actually have 2 downs, but they're probably gonna recover. You know, looking at the downs that we see in these top POVs, I am actually thinking that maybe, just maybe, it was actually a Healing Scourge that we saw on Ice down on the leaderboard earlier.
It is very hard to live with Matthias. Matthias does hurt a lot.
Yeah, like it is a lot of environmental damage. Like it's not like the mob hit you. It's everything wants your life.
He has big aura damage, and I believe on the fire phase, if you don't move, he also gets an extra aura damage that hits you as well. So you've got to like keep shuffling about to not take the damage.
Indeed, it is pretty violent. But you know what is even more violent? The next two POVs we're gonna watch. POVs where Matthias gets utterly destroyed. Muru. I believe it's time. Let's get to number 2. It's none other than Quantify, gifting us another amazing run, 1 second faster than the previous runners, with 5 renegades in it.
The timing was really close there. 57 versus 56.
It's pretty crazy. But, and people can already guess who is the number 1. I guess we can already congratulate you, my boy Muru. But you know, we need to have a look at that POV in just a few seconds. I'm actually kind of hyped to see the Holosmith, and I guess the Thief is actually bringing the healing once again. Like, that's probably the nicest thing we got from all these Matthias submissions, you know, seeing a healing Thief, which is a nice improvement. Maybe that's going to be a different way of playing in Pogs as well. Since Thieves already bring the boons, why not have them be the healers? But yeah.
I also assume that's a power chrono to bring feedback. Which, instead of the usual Mirage you'd slot in there, they've decided to bring a power chrono instead.
I mean, power chrono is just too strong. It's just so strong, man.
We saw it in the 3rd kill, so...
But yeah, just as one said in the chat, QT roleplaying as SC, I guess, like second forever. But yeah, let's watch that POV.
Oh, what an intro.
I mean, they have some very good designers in their ranks. You know, you gotta give it to them. They know how to please the eyes. You know what else pleases my eyes? That amazing opening burst from the Holosmith, and what is going on beyond that. Whoa! The damage of the Renegades.
I missed the Holo bringing... I'm assuming they're to bring Pinpoint again as well.
Quite possibly. I mean, it is too good not to take, right? Like, the Holo does great damage, it brings great utility, it brings buffing. Why wouldn't you take one?
One of the small things that I was talking about with the shards earlier, a lot of Thieves bring... I believe it's Smokescreen to block the projectiles. So obviously you don't need to deal with the shards, as opposed to the 3rd place kill, where they tank the shards for the bonus damage and had the Druid heal them up. And again there, the Smokescreen to try and block the shards, just to mitigate that extra damage. And sadly, they had the 2nd sacrifice, which they didn't skip with enough DPS. Which, if they would, they probably would have gotten even more impressive time, to be honest.
Actually, you know, that's kind of a yikes. You know, when you get a class that is meant to bring CC getting sacrificed. Still, it is kind of good that they got it at this kind of timer, because since Matthias is invulnerable for a few seconds, you actually have time to just handle the CC and like reorganize your rotation.
Yeah, but sadly with Soul Beast, you need to wait to remerge back.
To remerge with your pet, exactly.
Yeah.
Like that is why it's so bad as a Soul Beast to get sacrificed. But like, that's RNG, my dude. Can't escape the RNG.
Still a beautiful kill though. No downs.
And it is confirmed that it is Pinpoint Holo. Like, Evo just confirmed it by looking at the log. That was such a fast run. You know, like, we can't say much beyond the fact that it is a very fast run.
It was clean, apart from the 2 downs at the end.
Yeah. And now, I guess it is time for us to have a look at the number 1 POV. What have you got to say for yourself, my dear friend Muru? You're number 1.
In advance.
You apologize for that. Are you once again using banned and restricted tactics? Very grey area stuff?
It depends if you count Chrono as unrestricted. I feel very bad for the comp that we used, and I'm pretty sure the community will also dislike the comp that we used.
Let me take my glasses off for a second. Okay, the chat has removed tomatoes from their hands and they have loaded some stones. Start running, Muru! And then, yeah, number 1 is none other than 17 Elitists with a time of 1:35. That is 21 seconds faster than QT. 21 seconds faster. Yo, that is mad.
Honestly, I was so proud of this kill. It was...
That is actually mad. 1:35 for an encounter that actually has roleplay. That has invulnerable phase. That is the kind of encounter we're talking about. That's an encounter where you can lose time, and you guys make it in 1:35. We need to look at all the exploits with our exploit glasses on. If I could get up from this seat, I would go and fetch my policeman hat, put it on, and be like, this is the exploit police. But yeah. Apart from that,
surprisingly strong.
5 Chronos. Like, I see that you guys are really playing the flavor. Like, you guys aren't like the earlier teams we saw who were like, let's bring the stuff we're good at. You guys were like, you know what's good? Power Chrono. You know what's good? Chrono.
Funnily enough, Chrono is what we're good at.
You know what's good at Chrono? Yeah, Chrono is good at Chrono. Let's move on to watching that POV. Muru, you have 1:35 of commentary to make. Hit me up with your best stuff ever.
There's a lot of small stuff that goes on here, which I was very proud to be part of, honestly.
Yeah, actually, the chat is saying that you are a one-trick group playing only Chronos. Do you confirm
honestly,
this?
I'm not going to confirm
That chat
or
cover!
deny.
Oh my god, that chat cover is the confirmation we needed. That is the healer thief point of view, you know, I'm actually hype about looking at that.
Yeah, so Thief has a trait of when they shadow step, they heal everything nearby. So if you have full energy, you can just spam sword 2 to just heal everyone around you.
Oops. Sorry for that. That was an alarm. Which is crazy because I was on Do Not Disturb, but so be it.
But as you can see, we also decided to tank the shards for that extra damage.
That's a lot of damage indeed.
Yeah,
okay.
and then of course our Thief decides to.
You went down pretty hard. When the healer goes down, shit goes wrong.
And funnily enough, this was our best kill when the healer goes down as well. Yeah, as you can see, we skipped the second sacrifice, which I think if QT did, they could have got a very impressive time as well.
Yeah, truly. But like, right now... Okay, so
And
you're
then
not
there
even
was-
handling the wall... Like, you're not even handling the projectiles at all. Like, you don't try and wall it, you don't try and block it, you just take it.
If we tank it, we can get the 10% damage buff for 20 seconds.
Yeah,
'cause
truly. But like, you're taking risks.
it was very risky, and
Risky
of the
but calculated, I guess.
one of the
Okay.
things you couldn't see there was we stacked all the Chronos on one spot, and then when they all down to the explosion, we threw an elite banner on top of them to res them instantly. So then we didn't need to split up for the explosion.
I mean, that is impressive. You know, I gotta give it to you guys. I wouldn't say that there is any exploit in this run. You just brought a great class. You maxed out the DPS. You played risky to get even more damage by tanking the hits that could give you the buffs. Actually, good strats. Like, sick DPS, good strats. You guys truly deserve that first position. There is no exploit involved. It's just great. It's just actually great.
Genuinely
Like-
proud of that kill. There was a lot of small strategies which let us... So just at around 135, 136, the third bubble appears. So we were just able to beat the third bubble, which obviously gave us an extra 5-6 seconds, so we didn't need to wait for the bubble to go down.
That is really impressive. I mean, I personally am impressed. Like, for the record, back in my old days, back in 2000 and I think it was, yeah, late 2015, early 2016, I was given the opportunity to playtest Wing 2. It was so buggy, it was so horrible. We struggled. We had to like change health values, some stuff. It was pretty crazy stuff. And here I am today, watching you guys make small work of Matthias, which was originally meant to be a pug destroyer. It was meant to be the hardest encounter in the game when it was designed by Ironet, and here it is, being made a laughingstock. That's what it is today. That's great, that is impressive.
Honestly, I
appreciate this.
really enjoyed Matthias as a run because there's so many little things you've got to optimize to get a good time. Like I said, we barely beat that third bubble by a second. And if we didn't beat that bubble, we would have added an extra 7 seconds onto our time. So just because we were able to beat that bubble, it let us get such a big time advantage compared to second place.
Yeah. Impressive. You know, I just can't get over it. Like, I tested this. It was hard. We needed to make it less hard. Like, today, just deleted. Like, what is Matthias anyways? What is this? You know, what is a man? Just a pile of secrets, I know, but like, what is Matthias? Just a pile of rotting stock, made even worse, killed by the power of Chrono, and the power of Chrono as well. I'm just amazed. Congratulations to 17 Elitists for the tactic, for the bravery, and for being number 1 on this Matthias segment of today's installment of the Raiding League 2021. That's actually getting way too long. Gotta find a way to like just use initials, just like Gorse 2, you know, like LSC5 episode part 1, etc. Yeah, we got this. We're on to this.
Someone who comes for the first time would understand at all the abbreviation.
Yeah, I mean, does it really matter? Like, we can always explain them if they ask nicely in the chat. But yeah, with this said, it is time to look at the global leaderboard, and maybe we will be graced by Evokron's presence in the voice chat, as he will come to explain exactly how everything is handled from here on out. Otherwise, I will be most delighted to do it myself. And this is our global leaderboard for the Session 1 of the second season. Is there a way to watch all the POV? Everything will be published after the stream is over. You guys will be given what you need to look at everything else. And I believe that Evokron has joined us just now. You get the mic handed to you, sir.
Hello. So I explained the the season points and session points in the boss draw stream that we had about a week ago, but everything is further explained in the Discord. Everything is written down. Everything is documented. Everything is fully open. And as we see one up asking for where to watch all the VODs, I'll be publishing a spreadsheet with everything for every single VOD, every single log, very soon. So just wanted to finish off the stream first, and then we'll go ahead with that. In terms of the points itself, the calculation for this season, we are focusing more on a seasonal rather than a sessional focus. And we're also focusing on removing certain elements. So in the previous seasons, the formula was self-correcting with RP normalization. So like anything that's unskippable, they'd be removed from each other because we were using a fastest time minus slowest time. Because we aren't doing that this time, we have to have the ability to remove those elements, and we have done so. We've published a dictionary of which bosses have how much time removed before applying the points calculation, and that goes for both your time and the comparator time, which is the fastest time. In this manner, we're able to provide more points in general and overall. So we hope that that's going to be better. Furthermore, we're going with, as people have noticed, a flexible tiering system. It so happens that we had huge outliers this time with 17 getting so high. So like what we see now with 1 gold and multiple silvers and majority bronze. Hopefully that shouldn't happen. But we also are missing a lot of some of our previous competitors. MCA, for example, weren't competing this month, but hopefully we'll see them next month.
All right, so just to put it in layman's terms and to explain it very simple way to you guys, basically now the tiering is flexible. Previously, based on the players who were in the team, if they were known to be like very good players, or based on the estimated quality of the participants, they were placed into a specific league. Today, instead, the system is flexible. Based on your own performance, we put you into a specific tier. That means that some people who start in bronze can go silver. If you start in gold, you can go silver. If you're in gold, you can go in either. Like, the way it is done is way better in order to ensure that everyone is within their skill level, and that you don't have huge outliers based on having a team that we estimated at silver but has like gold tier performance, or the other way around.
Either way, everything is going to be at the end of the season. We're going to award the top 16 teams regardless of what end tier you end up in, and if we reach our donation goal, then that's when we'll go back and do some retroactive rewards for these sessions. So, having said that, talking about our prize pool, our prize pool is coming from ArenaNet for having. At this point, we have 19 teams playing, and we have right now 344 viewers. We had some more earlier on, but we are going to be continuing to get to aim for our sponsorship from ArenaNet. But the rest of the prize pool comes from donations. We are currently at 2,000, I want to say 400 out of 3,500 for the 3-month goal. And if we hit the stretch goal, which is 7,000 gold, that's when we'll be able to do the retroactive rewards for the sessions. So if you want to donate, if you want to support the league, participate, donate, we have multiple channels and avenues for you to do so.
Yeah, so basically, as Ever said, we now have also a different way of giving out rewards. Everything is going to be documented, explained, so keep an eye out on the Discord. But what truly matters is, if you're enjoying what you're watching and you want to participate in the league but not as a player, instead as a supporter, you're more than welcome to do so. Anything works, anything goes towards the general goal. The more we get, the more we can award to people. The bigger the events get, the more recognition we get from ArenaNet in the matter of our partnership. Everything can go amazingly well. And I guess that these are some pretty nice words to end this streaming session on. So once again, I want to thank everyone involved in the Raiding League, our wonderful board of admins, the people who worked on preparing the presentation for today, the amazing bot handler Linka in the chat. We also have, of course, today co-caster to thank. So once again, thank you, Muru, for having come and being the co-caster, having granted us some amazing content in the form of your insightful, comments on the
Thanks
raid.
for having me. It was a bunch of fun, actually.
The chat appreciated you. I really hope to see you again on this. Because as you guys know, every month we have this Raiding League stream. Quality is going to improve, post-production is going to improve, everything is going to go amazingly well, and I can't hope to see you guys again next month. Thank you all the viewers, thank you to the team, and have fun in the Raiding League. I guess now we need to find someone to host, you know, like, gotta do what Twitchers gotta do. Who do we host?
I'm checking.
Yeah, like, I mean, you know, like, we actually have hosting power, so we should use it.
I think Mela went back on, is still offline. I know he was going to be back. Depot's technically live. Quigs is restreaming us right now. What else do we have?
I mean, I guess we could go for like a Teapot host, like, you know, just pushing people towards what's gonna be the other raiding event of the year, because Teapot did tease that he was gonna do the Elitist raiding party. Right now he is doing some PvP, but you know, he's a raider.
Let's see if we can find someone who's a small time raider. Give me a second here.
Okay, indeed, people are saying in the chat, smaller streamer. Okay.
Let me see if I can find a raiding stream.
Yeah, it would be kind of nice.
These are all World vs. World.
I mean, it is Sunday. Tomorrow is the raid reset. Today is Sunday. People don't raid on Sundays.
If we have suggestions from the chat, we could take those. Let me. And in the meantime, I'll take a quick look at some other people's.
Yeah. Okay, we need suggestions in the chat. Rage Assassin Gorse, is he even live? Because, like, I know Rage. He's a very good raider. Is he live?
I've got two potential ones here.
Hey, EU raids with actually EU raids. You know, we could host Rage.
I'm not seeing Rage actually on the
Rage Assassin Guild Wars 2. Like, he is streaming raids right now. He was an old team member back when I was in Hop and we did the ERP. So either that or Manigold.
I was thinking maybe Ricky made a mistake, or Koji XX. Both of them have been live for less than 1 hour around. Because I just don't want, because Rage Assassin looks like he's been live for 3 hours and maybe stopping in relatively soon.
Okay, just give me a name and we host, because otherwise we're just gonna wait for way too long. I need a name. I need energy.
Let's I'll send you it over here. There we go.
Where did you send it, actually?
Oh,
in Twitch chat?
Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. Ricky made a mistake. Okay, let's go with this. Alright, my dear friends, let's go. Let's enjoy this other streamer. Let's enjoy the raid content. Once again, thank you for having been there. We are pressing the raid now button and sending all our energy to this person. Catch you guys in a month from now. Bye.